I do hope all your rest has been peaceful, and that was crazy. Man, wish my camera's pointed in that direction. Maybe that's what I heard. I did see something going across from left to right. Hello? Was that you I just saw? Here's a cool looking one over here, Heather. This is cool too. But it looks like maybe a tree. So this is, like I said, it's pretty close, about 10 miles out from Charleston. My guess, north of Charleston. Look at this. So 1901. Wow. It says our brother. Definitely an old tombstone. So there's some interesting looking tombstones over here. I wish I knew more about this place, but we're, you know, just happened to go down this road and gave us the directions to this cemetery, and here we are. Some pretty cool ones right here. This is an old one right here. It's weather is definitely defeated this one. Still stands strong, but the lettering is definitely not legible anymore. As I mentioned, this is our first time here at this cemetery. We're not familiar with this neck of the woods. But the cemetery is definitely inviting. Has a calm feeling to it. This is a pretty cool one. Douglas. Sure, there's lots of history behind this cemetery, just like any other cemetery. I wish I could provide you with more information. So this might be a strange comment for everybody or anybody that resides here in the cemetery, but if you can use all your spiritual energy to try to communicate with us, I have a device in my right hand that will be able to take pictures of you and record you, put you on film, so we can take it back home and share it with family and friends and the YouTube community. I also have a device in my left hand. This one is less intimidating. All it requires you to do is to touch it or get near it, and it will read your energy, and it will let me know that you're here with me right now and you're trying to communicate. So if you want to do that, feel free, please. These are nice. And I will understand if you don't want to do that. So, but I come here harmless, with no ill intent at all. I think you live in a beautiful lawn. The cemetery is definitely well cared for. So I can appreciate that, and I'm sure you have appreciated over the years. I do hope all your rest has been peaceful, and that was crazy. Man, wish my camera's pointed in that direction. Just heard like leaves over there. But man. Maybe that's what I heard. I did see something going across from left to right. Hello? Was that you I just saw? Anyway, right around this area I saw, it looked like a white, I can't even, like, I'm like kind of speechless right now because I'm trying to figure out what that was, but. Sure, there's just acorns or walnuts falling off the trees. I'll pay no mind to that. So anyway, like I said, I'm just gonna say I saw a white figure really quickly from left to right. I did not have the camera pointing in that direction, unfortunately, of course. That's usually how that works. It was cool. It looked like maybe a person at first, but then it just kind of disappeared. Look at this. That's neato. I like that. Maggie Gomers. Maggie, I really like your tombstone. Bug flying in my face. McMillan. Pretty neat. I'm guessing, let's see here. This one's interesting right here. And like I said, for those of you in this area of the cemetery, or this part of the cemetery, I come here peacefully, with no ill intent, just here to communicate. And well, actually, I'm here to film this beautiful cemetery that you reside in. Can't get over how lovely this is. But in addition to that, feel free to try to communicate with us. I have this device in my right hand. It's got these red lights. I also have this engaged right here. Please feel free to use these devices to try to communicate with us. And they're both harmless. You will not feel a thing. These devices will allow us to, well, will allow you to communicate with us, and then we can communicate back or attempt to. I haven't really been fully paying attention to the gauge, but when I have been paying attention to it, I have not seen a spike. So we're not getting any energy reads at this point. Do not be afraid to try to communicate with us. So this cemetery leads into this little part of the back here. Shadiest part of the cemetery. Basically at all times of the day, I'm guessing. There's an animal over there. A possum, maybe a raccoon, maybe a skunk, not sure. Harmless to me though. So if you're over here in this little shady area of the cemetery, please feel free to communicate with us. Pretty sure these are old trees. This is a second time I think I've seen the little engraving of the hands, the holding the hands. Or, well, this is very interesting. Some of these designs I can't quite puzzle piece together, but I'm thinking this looks like a lock and key of some sort, but I don't know. Really cool though. Really cool concept. They really had some design ideas back in the day, didn't they? Puts all these new ones to shame. I'm sure there's some spectacular looking new ones, but so far I would pick old ways over new ways. Look at this. Very cool. I mean, you can tell this is, my guess is this is the older part of the cemetery. But it looks like there's older headstones or tombstones all over the cemetery. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say this whole cemetery is old in general. Got those. So far, it's been pretty quiet. You're not wanting to use your energy to communicate with us. Come here in peace. That's all I am. Not here to, nothing but to communicate with you and try to learn more about, you know, about maybe the history of this place or some of your experiences when you were alive. That would be kind of nice. Pretty cool to hear from you. And I know there was a super cool headstone up here. Try not to shake the camera too much. It's like Heather's still taking pictures. Hopefully she's taking some good ones.
One thing's for sure, Heather took dozens of photos during her tour of the cemetery, and we felt inclined to share a few of those photos with you. While nothing out of the ordinary was captured, the images consist of a variety of tombstones, the vastness of the landscape, including the surrounding farmland, and the tree line southeast of the cemetery that secretly hides Greasy Creek. Of course, if there's anything missed during the extent of this video, please leave details in the comments below.
I don't know if that's a bird's nest on top or if that's just part of the design, but looks like Mary Isabel. It's a neato place, I'll tell you. Anybody here with me right now? Wow. Time and weather is manhandling this one. It's like Heather's going back to the car. You can see her all the way down there. Probably won't go over there by that newer part of the cemetery. We're assuming it's a newer part, but you can see it's pretty expansive. You'll see where the corn ends and where the cemetery starts. I don't know, like there's nothing luring me back at this point. Like, sorry, I'm just changing. O'Hare Here's Bryant Frazier. I thought I saw some really cool one here. Maybe it's over here. We were pulling in and we saw a really cool headstone. Oh, that's pretty neat. It's got a scroll. Pretty neat. Well-designed tombstones. I think that's another big reason why I get drawn to cemeteries, is just to see the sculpture, capabilities of whomever does these. This one's, I'm guessing, extremely old. September 22nd. This is something 20. I'm interested. It's drawn me in. I don't know. Bianca? Died September, age 20 years. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll look at maybe the footage will be more clear. I can't see it from here. It was pretty sunny. The sun's kind of beating down on the surface of these, making it harder for me to read. Because I have sunglasses too. That's my excuse. I think that's Heather's way of telling me let's go. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything. Probably not. We can look at that. Yeah, where's the one we saw that we remember we wanted to, that was drawing us in? Was it up there?
It looks like Omar's.
Okay, so Heather discovered this part. This is what we saw when we first entered. So we saw this beautiful, I mean, that is absolutely stunning. I know it's aged, like it's a older tombstone, but to this day it holds up really well. Kirkpatrick, maybe I will try to communicate with whoever is buried here using this K2. So Kirkpatrick, I don't have a first name, unfortunately. I love your tombstone. I feel inclined to try to communicate with you. But if you're here with me right now, can you give me a sign of your presence? There's a gauge in my left hand here that's got this pretty green light. If you touch it, it'll light up to different colors to let me know that you're here with me. Or if you want to just talk to me, in my right hand is a device that's harmless as well. Just free-willingly say whatever you want. Tell me things. Seems like you're well rested though. I'm not getting any energy in this area at all. So maybe I'll just leave you alone, but I'm here to say to you that this is a beautiful tombstone. So anyhow, I'll go ahead and leave you alone, Kirkpatrick. Rest in peace. So the one that, look at this. I don't know if it's the exact same one, but if you guys remember my very first or our very first investigation on this channel was at St.OmerCemetery, close to Oakland, Illinois. That was, I think her name was Catherine. What was the yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, but her name was Caroline was supposed to be a witch, and anyhow, this looks like to be the same tombstone that for this person, which is Isaiah Patterson. So yeah, if you haven't checked out our very first investigation there at St.OmerCemetery, please, find some time to do so. I was just basically Carson and I, my son, and I just walking the premises and getting the feel for the cemetery. And then I know I think it was a year later, Heather and I came back, and I just did did it alone, and that was pretty interesting doing that alone. Feel like there was a ball of energy that flew out of the spirit box. If you don't want to watch the full episode, at least see that part. So this is crazy. We're walking through St.OmerCemetery. Yeah. I tell you what, this is very creepy. Walking through the cemetery in the middle of nowhere. Like I said, we're about 2 miles away from Ashmore, a very small town in Illinois. So here is the, looks like somebody's been here already. Because that scarf is not on here. And someone has taken all the change off. That's strange. Yeah. So if you look closely, you'll see it says Caroline, born. Let's turn down the light again here. So born January 23rd, 1858, and then died February 31st, 1882. But that was a very interesting night. There were claims, lots of claims that you would see a lot of orb activity and, voices and all that stuff. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. But in the meantime, it's pretty cool to see another headstone or tombstone in a completely different cemetery. Isaiah, are you here with me right now? Anybody from Patterson? I guess it'd be just Isaiah. If you're here right now, I want to say that you have a pretty cool, interesting looking tombstone. Looks like you passed away in 1894. Looks like you were a Christian, so that's, you had your faith. And all right, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say my goodbye now. If anybody is here with me right now, I ask you nicely to stay here in this beautiful cemetery. I do not want you to follow us. You're definitely not invited to come with us. So please stay where you're at in this beautiful cemetery. I don't know if I'm gonna come back here for a nighttime investigation. I may, it just depends. But in the meantime, I am gonna leave, and I want to leave without anybody else, okay? I'm just gonna go with my wife. It's just gonna be Heather and I going into this vehicle, and we're gonna drive away, and I want you to remain here, okay? But thank you for letting me, tour your cemetery. It's a beautiful place. And until next time, have a good rest of your day, and rest in peace. Okay.
I can go on and on about our enthralling experiences here at Union Cemetery, but for the sake of time, I will conclude and say that this has to be one of the most well-kept cemeteries that we've ever visited. I couldn't think of a better location to place a cemetery than here, near the tree line that divides the southeastern premise of the cemetery and the quaint and obscure Greasy Creek. Even though this is the end of our initial visit, We look forward to revisiting this location soon, as this was just another one of our eerie explorations.